And before I talk about my delegation, I just want to give you background about how it came to be. First of all, I found out about the issue in the papers, and I contacted Joshua, and Joshua said we haven't put the press release on the website yet. So actually, I kind of reminded him he put the press release on the website. Then I contacted a few of the trustees. I contacted Crocker, I don't know if he remembers, and he said that he would get me a delegation. He would give me the information, because I didn't know about what delegation is.
That's what you're doing right now,
Yeah,
sir.
I understand. But I didn't know at the time, and he said that he would help me get the delegation. Unfortunately, he didn't get back to me, contacted another trustee, Mr. Singh, he sent it to me on his phone. I appreciate that. And also contacted a few others, those who represent my ward. Found out about who voted in favor of the pride flag being displayed on the school, and who voted and who abstained from the vote. Nobody voted against it, which is very, a sad tragedy. It's a very tragic thing that people who voted, who abstained from it, they actually wanted to vote against it, but for some reason didn't have the courage to vote against it. And those are some of those who represent my ward as well. So that's how the background of how I am here. And I contacted Mueller, and she said, send me the information for the delegation, send me the slide. I had a slide which is not this slide. I had another slide which has this pride flag, and I have next to it the swastika, which represents racism, which represents hatred. And I said they're equal. If you're going to allow one flag, then you're opening the door, you're opening Pandora's box. But I believe it was you, McDougall, who said that that's not acceptable. We can't have that slide, which I found to be a bad decision, found to be a wrong-headed decision. That decision should not have been done. And people should be free to express their views without handicaps, you see. But anyways, we have this slide instead, which obviously she approved of. But I had another slide, and that was making the point much more better. And unfortunately, we have to settle for this slide. So that's the background, as I said. And just want to mention a few things. You see, the resolution that they passed about this flag is a destructive decision. It's very irresponsible. It's unprincipled. As I said, it's opened the Pandora's box. You see, there are so many other flags which are offensive. But if somebody comes to this board and says, we want to have that flag, we want to have the swastika flag, for example, then I don't understand why they will allow this flag but not allow that flag. That's something you got to think about. That's all the trustees got to think about that. It's particularly the ones who abstained. I know it's only maybe 2 or 3 that abstained from the vote, but they got to think about that there are going to come other groups of people, and they're going to say our flag as well. What are you going to say to them? It's not a principled decision, you see. So this is a very controversial flag, to say the least. It's a very controversial flag, to say the least. And you see, another issue is the public of Peel Region. The public of Peel Region, they were not taking into confidence, because it's a big decision, not a small decision. It's not a bureaucratic decision. It's not an administrative decision. It's a big decision what you guys voted for. It's a big resolution. And as I understand it, that this is the first time I'm here to the board, but there have been several other delegations in this regard. Most of them have been against it. And you can see that this is only from those people who have the courage to speak up, or those people who know about the decision. But I could tell you that 90% of the people, either they're the silent majority, you could say, either they're not aware of this decision, or if they're aware of the decision, they don't have the courage to come here and speak up, unlike me. So that was not taken into consideration. And the other thing is this flag, if you actually research this flag, the history of this flag, who created this flag, what the different colors represent, you will find a lot of disturbing information. You will find, I'll just give you an example, the blue strip on the flag, actually, it represents witchcraft. That's what the creator, the different colors represent different things. The creator of the flag, back in the 1970s, I believe, he made the blue strip to represent witchcraft. And so if people knew more about this flag, if people were educated about this flag, they may look at it in a different way. And this, if you know the history of this flag was a divisive flag from the very beginning. You see, the people who created this flag, they created this flag to represent anarchy and represent anti-police sentiment. That's also in the history of this flag. You should, don't take my word for it, study it yourself, and you will understand that. And I also want to mention one more thing. Actually, I got a few more things to mention. I don't know how much time I have, but if you could tell me how much time.
You have about 4 minutes.
I won't be long, but I'll say this. You see, I don't know who exactly the group is that came to the board, to the trustees, or came to the board and said, this is the flag we want you to fly in the month of June. That group's history and that group's objectives, that's a political group. They have a political agenda, and they have fooled a lot of the GTA in the vicinity, different kind of school boards. I know the Toronto School Board and a few in Durham as well. Those school boards, they were also pressured. They were also made to feel that if you don't pass this resolution, there's going to be, some kind of idea people are going to have that you are homophobic or something like that. Just totally not true. But those are the type of tactics they use. Those to pressure trustees like you, and I know many of them want to dissent. I know many of them on this board, they want to dissent from the decision, but they don't have the courage to do it, or that's why they abstained, which is a big tragedy, as I said. The other thing is, why are they targeting certain school boards in the GTA? Why is there's so many hundreds of school boards across the country? There are school boards in, let's say, Sudbury, for example. They haven't passed this kind of resolution. Why have they come to the school boards that are in the GTA area, in the vicinity? Because, as I said, I represent Muslim community. Our community is more concentrated in this area. And there is a, you could say, a plan or conspiracy to indoctrinate our children. They want to target our children in particular. And this is why they make these kind of resolutions. This is why they make these kind of proposals. So you got to think about that. And you see, what's the principle stand? The last thing I'm going to say, then I'll leave it to you. I know most of these people, they're not going to change their decision that they made. But what I really want to do is I want to address the people. But the way you set it up is, I'm looking at you. But I really want to address the people. I want to tell the people that this decision, it was made without your consent. It was made without your kind of input. It was a rushed decision as well. It was very hastily rushed. And you see, what's the principal thing is that there should be no flags on the school property. Absolutely no flag of any kind. Maybe apart from the regulation. But there should actually be no kind of flag. That's what the school board should decide. And the students should be made feel comfortable. You see, you're telling me that certain students are going to feel uncomfortable if their particular flag that represents their particular group is not flown. I could say that there are dozens of different groups. Some of them are large, some of them actually represent a larger group. The flag that's going to be flown, their representation in the school is much smaller than our community, much smaller than our student body. but they're going to get their flag. If I put up a proposal, or from people from our community, we say, put the flag of Saudi Arabia, or any other Islamic flag. I guarantee you there will be no such resolution passed because of the fear of a media backlash, because of fear of many other things, which I'm sure you're aware of. But this flag was passed because socially acceptable among an elite class of people, not the common people. So I know that trustees are not going to, I don't know, maybe they might, from words I've said, and other people are going to come as well, talk about the issue. But I know if they don't reconsider this decision, we're still gonna make this a big controversy. And I know many other people. You see, right now it's the month of Ramadan. I'm fasting. That's why many other of our people of our community, maybe they didn't get the chance. And that's something else to think about. The month of June, they decided this for the month of June. They knowing that people in our community are fasting. And you know, I also came all the way from Brampton. Plus, I'm fasting. Shows you how much passion we have about this issue. It's sad that others of my community did not maybe come as with many delegations as other people, but I could tell you that they are totally dissatisfied with this decision. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sir, just wait one moment. Are there any questions of clarification? I see none. Did you hand in your notes from your presentation? Do we have those?
These are the notes I have, but I rarely looked at them. Everything I said is from the heart.
No,
You
but
see?
in order for us to respond
Yes.
to you, it would be helpful. if
I actually did send the notes to you and to Mueller as well. You
We
can
have
check
them,
your
Janice?
emails.
Yes? Oh, yeah, point form, right? Yes, I remember. Yes, okay, fine.
right.
Good. So we will respond to your delegation at the next board meeting, which is the 19th of June. Thank you.